So today is going to be a little shorter, and I just want to just call out something that's pretty cool that's out there. It's a nice feature. Most people don't know it's there. So you started using Azure. The first question you want to ask someone is usually related to best practices. Am I doing this right? What would you recommend I do differently? And you're like, okay, who do I ask? You can always ask a bunch of consulting companies or Microsoft. We would be happy to give you our opinions on what is right and wrong. Best practices is always an interesting scenario because sometimes it's based on our own experiences. Microsoft has their own guidance, but what about you? What are some things you could actually look at? Well, let's talk about the Azure Advisor. So you go, what's the Azure Advisor? Well, you can find the Azure Advisor through the All Services option on your portal. That's all services. If you look at its little three lines, looks like a hamburger. It's below the ad, essentially. It's in your portal. Search for Advisor. Easiest way in anything like this where there's lots of stuff, just search for Advisor. This will open up a blade in your portal once you find it that will start reviewing your subscription and resources for recommendations right away. So you'll see it start working. It'll spin the dials on a few of these. While not all encompassing, this will give you some recommendations in the following areas, and you'll see these spinning as basically cards on that dashboard today. So high availability, so just making sure that you have a highly available solution. For instance, if you only have like one VM and it's not an availability set, it would show up here. Security, it will evaluate the security requirements around that. So whether or not you're encrypted, like in a database, is your database encrypted now? A lot of those are decrypted by default, but if you have an older one, it may say, hey, you know what, you need to go ahead and turn on encryption in your database. Performance issues, you may have something that's peaking a lot or doing a lot of work. It'll say, hey, we recommend you add resources to this. And finally, cost. What's costing you the most money? Is a bunch of things sitting idle? Are you incurring a lot of costs in there? So it scores these recommendations based on the impact. It's going to give you a high, medium, or low. It's going to say how many recommendations it has, how many resources are affected by the recommendation. You'll be able to drill into all the recommendations to see the details right away. So, and of the affected resources. If you need to produce output, you can export those results to a PDF or CSV. So this will allow you to actually create a report for your boss or whoever's managing your environment or what you're specifically looking to optimize. CSV obviously makes it easy to drop it into something like a tool like Power BI and do further analysis if you so choose, or even build a dashboard that you can use from this. You have some filtering and configuration capabilities if you need to isolate the recommendations or to pick a specific resource type or subscription. You can add those to filters. So you have this option to at least narrow it down. While not an exhaustive solution, meaning it doesn't cover everything all the time, it's only covering those 4 key areas right now. It's a great place for Azure to recommend ways to improve your cloud solutions and your cloud implementation on Azure. So give it a try, see if it recommends something. Remember, everything's a recommendation, not a requirement. And even if you look at a recommendation, you should always evaluate what the impact will be if you apply the recommendation to your environment, your applications, or to your user experience. So if you have any questions about using Azure Advisor or anything else around Azure, please click the link below. We'd be happy to reach out and talk to you about it. Thanks for joining us today.